to be honest. It's pretty cool to be nominated with a fellow Northern Minnesota goalie as well, and Alex Lyon. Growing up, we'd always go to camps together. Actually, Grandma Susie brought us up to camp together in Winnipeg, Manitoba one year. So it's those little dreams and stuff you get to go through at a young age, thinking about, hey, maybe one day that'd be cool to experience playing for North Dakota, and for this to actually be happening has been an absolute blessing, and reality that it was tough to see at the time, but just set your goals, and anything is possible. Really, it's pretty special.
Okay, right in front, yeah.
Scott McLaughlin, WEI here in Boston. Zane, have you made any decisions as far as turning pro or signing with the Bruins? And if not, when do you think you'll make that decision?
There's definitely hasn't been any decision yet. Everything's really really new and really fresh with what happened last night, and I don't think it'd be fair to myself, my family, my current teammates as well to really just make a decision that quickly. So I think it's definitely going to take some time to see what happens, and to really get perspectives from everybody in my life, whether it's coaches, fellow teammates, and especially my family. And I kind of know when the time's right that we'll be making that decision one way or another.
Mike McCann, KVRR in Fargo. Mike, my question's for you. I know you touched on it a little bit, but when you watch Zane, what do you think is the most impressive part of his game?
Well, I said it earlier, I think there's just not a lot of bad goalies in college hockey. You look around there, and there's just great teams, well coached. These athletes are incredibly conditioned. But I think what separates the truly great players, the exceptional players like Zane, is what's between their ears, and it's tough to get a sense for that until you start knowing the person. And listen to the quotes that his teammates have, his coaching staff, see how he approaches it. You're not at this level unless you have a lot of talent. You just couldn't compete. But when you have that extra gear of the intangibles, we were talking about that before. That really starts to separate people. And he's got an incredible amount of poise. These are not easy games. As you saw last night, there's single game elimination. Anybody can win at any time. A lot of pressure. He's not an unknown commodity, so everybody starts to gun for you. I love the way he competes. He's square to the puck, all the right things that you can see physically. But I think it's really what you find in him as a person, and what we're trying to focus on with this award a little bit more. I think that is what's going to pave his way to success.
One more in the back there.
Zane, you touched on it. Beth Wool, sorry, KVLI, KXJB. Zane, you touched on it a little bit, but what can you say about the relationship you have with Carl and how he's taken your game to the next level?
Yeah, it's been a pretty awesome relationship. It started with as a kid in youth hockey, coming to camps in the summer when the university hosted youth hockey camps, but really fell in love with Carl's game and what he did at the University of North Dakota, and to really get here and experience it firsthand with his outlook from playing at the collegiate level to playing professional hockey. He certainly learned many techniques, but also maybe more so the mental side of what it really takes to become elite goaltender. So the things that we do, whether it's video every Monday, Tuesday, going over the past weekend's games on certain situations where we could maybe do a little differently and improve, or things that we did do right, and you can build on those. Whether it's that or doing the goalie skates before practices, or just maybe sitting down and having a talk just about life, basically, about his accomplishments, and and what he saw going through his career. It's been a really special relationship where I don't think if I had that, it would be anything close to where I'm at now.
Anything else? Okay, Zane and Mike will be available for photos and additional interviews around the corner. There's a backdrop over there we can use. So, thanks so much.
We'll be fairly casual here today and just take the questions as you'd like them to happen. Obviously, the players do practice after this, so we'll see how it goes. Ready for this? Yeah. You bet. Come, hi, guys. Good. Come on in. Thank you. Sleeps? Not much. Yeah, I know. Quick turnaround now. Holy cow. Hi, guys. David's on his way. Okay, thank you. There he is. Good man. Short. Weights on my ass. All right, we have Mr. Bacher and Magic Man with the mics, and let's have at her. Who would like to? John Powers, you want to ask the opening question? You're kind of a veteran here.
Why me is anti-arrogance? Yeah, sure.
Thanks, John.
John Powers, Boston Globe for David. As remarkable as the turnaround has been since last year, the trophies you won, how important is it you've gotten this far to finish this thing and put a punctuation mark on the season?
Well, I think it's incredibly important. Anytime you get a chance to play in a game of this magnitude, you can never take it for granted. You need to take advantage of it. We've come too far and put too much into it. And, I think our guys feel that way. The thing that I liked after our game last night is there was a level of excitement, but it was subdued. And I think there was a feel in the locker room that we were excited about winning the hockey game, but I got a sense shortly thereafter that our guys were getting ready to win the national championship against a very good Providence team.
That was John. Did you identify yourself, John? John Powers, boss. Okay, I couldn't remember. I know. Yeah. Okay. Nance.
Nancy Marepiece, Boston Globe. For any of you guys that want to answer this, Jack Parker was actually interviewed on TV last night talking about the importance of the seniors, referring to the 2009 championship. You guys don't have a ton of seniors, but they are very important. If you could just talk about their leadership and what it's meant to you guys.
Cool.
Well, yeah, like you said, we only have 2 seniors, but we feel like our leadership extends throughout our team. We have a big junior class, a big sophomore class, and with those guys, it helps the 10 freshmen transition. And like I said, everybody's a leader, and that's been huge to our success all year.
That was Matt Lane, by the way. Those listening, guys. Anybody else want to chime in? Finish flash.
No, yeah, Holman and Rodriguez have been great leaders this year. Definitely Grizzy. But like Laner said, yeah, we got some great leadership in the junior class, senior class, and the sophomores definitely with Doyle and Nikki. Been doing a great job this year. So, right from the top down, it's been great.
Was Mike Moran okay over here?
Steve Buckley, Boston Herald coach, and any of the players who want to weigh in. The fact that it's an all Hockey East final, 2 teams 50 miles or so apart, is that a help? Is it a hindrance? Are you indifferent to it? Or is it just a nice little story for us to write about?
Well, Steve, I think it's a nice little story, but I think it's great for our league, and I mean that sincerely. We think we have as good a league, if not the best league in college hockey. I know we only got 3 teams in the national tournament, but I think the next 4 or 5 teams, I think two or three of them were Hockey East teams that could have gotten in the tournament, and there's such a fine line between the 15th and 16th team that gets in and the 17th and 18th team that doesn't. It certainly will make it for an incredibly exciting atmosphere. I know the building will be packed, and there'll be a lot of passionate Providence College fans. I know there'll be a lot of passionate Terrier fans. 2 teams that know each other pretty well, and I think it's going to be a great matchup.
Doyle,
one of the players.
Doyle.
Yeah, I just think it speaks to the parity of Hockey East. Every night is extremely difficult to win a game, and it's just nice for Providence to get in, us to play them, and it's just good for Hockey East.
Ati.
Yeah, it's a great match against Providence. I think we won one and lost one earlier this season, so it's going to be a tough game on Saturday.
First postseason matchup actually between these 2 teams since 04-05 in the Hockey East quarterfinals. BK, right? Correct, thank you. Back over here. Nice sound effect.
Hey guys, Nick Coy from ABC6 in Providence. This is for Coach. you're a Cranston, Rhode Island guy yourself. So
Yes, I am.
so for you to be playing Providence in the national championship, is there a little bit more of a special feeling? And my second question is, what do you remember, if anything, from the 1985 team from Providence that made it to the national championship?
Well, Nick, it is special because I belong to Wannamoisa Country Club down in East Providence, Rhode Island. I've got a lot of members there that are Friar graduates, so I've been engaged in a lot of fun text exchanges since last night. I remember that '85 team was actually my freshman year at BU, and they beat us in the semifinals. And I know Chris Terreri obviously was the backbone of that team, but they had a lot of good players. It was the first year that Lou Lamoriello wasn't coaching Providence anymore. I think Steve Sterling was coaching at the time, and they had a really good team, and they had a magical run. I think Terreri had 70-plus saves in the Hockey East finals, and then did the same thing to BC in the national tournament. So I know it's been a long time coming for Providence. It's been a great program for a long time. Nate's done a phenomenal job. I'm happy for the team. I'm happy for the school, but I'd be more happy to beat them.
All right here, Jim.
David, Jim Connolly from U.S. College Hockey Online. Can you maybe contrast the styles of teams between North Dakota that you faced last night and what you're going to see in Providence tomorrow night?
Well, there's actually similar teams in a lot of ways. I mean, they both have great goalies. They both have mobile decor. Their forwards are big, strong, physical. It seems like we've been playing teams like that all last month, to be honest with you. They're well coached. They're an older group, so we're going to have to earn every inch of ice we get out there. They take away time and space, and it's going to be as it should be and as it always is. When you play for a national championship, you have to be at your best, and we certainly know we have to be at our best tomorrow night.
Mark Emmert, the president of the NCAA, will be here to watch tomorrow night. Nice to have you guys. Don't often get players just sitting on the press conference in the back there. Welcome, guys. Dave?
Matt, this is Dave Hendrickson, U.S. College Hockey Online. Can you just contrast last year when you had a more prominent role on a team that really struggled? You've had to go in and take on maybe a lesser role this year with a team that's now playing for the national championship game. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, last year, like you said, we struggled, and fortunately this year we got a lot of good players. And if it were up to me, I'd prefer to be in the role I am playing for the national championship than be on a 10-20 team. So, I'm happy where I am right now, and I've embraced the role the best I could, and we're just going to keep contributing here and hopefully finish this thing out one more game.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, and people ask that a lot, Dave, so I'm not, but his role hasn't diminished. He's on the power play. He kills penalties. He's a huge part of our team. He's playing in key situations. If you look at his ice time, it's probably a little less than last year just because we have more depth. But he's more important to our team this year than he was last year. He's had a heck of a year. He's a big reason why we're in the situation we're in. It's just, but I understand the line of question. A lot of people ask that about his diminished role, and you're on the power play, right? Kill penalties? Yeah. 5-on-5, a lot of 5-on-5 time? Yeah. Plays a lot of hockey for us, and that's why we're in the situation we're in.
Right here up front.
Scott McLaughlin, WEI, for Dave. You kind of touched on it earlier a little bit, but there's been some talk this year of it being a down year for Hockey East. Some teams, struggled out of conference earlier in the year, only get 3 teams in. Was there ever a point where you thought this might be a down year for Hockey East? And what is it about Hockey East that got you guys ready for the NCAA tournament?
No, I never thought it was a down year. I thought we had a lot of good teams in our league. You go through the standings. I mean, Vermont, really good team. UNH finished 8th in our league, and they were playing as well as anyone at the end of the year. We saw them in the semifinals. Our league has been great for 30-plus years, and I say this all the time. Somebody has to finish last in our league, and more times than not, the last-place team's still a good hockey team.
Steve?
Since you brought it up,
Could you,
Steve Buckley, Boston Herald. Since you brought up the texting earlier, is there a particularly amusing text from Rhode Island that you can share with us?
Oh, maybe.
Steve, I don't know if you know the Rhode Island crowd, but yeah, exactly. I'd have to clean up some language if I did, but a lot of guys loved me going into last night's game, but a lot of them don't like me now, so.
Nothing, Quinny? Nothing?
No.
Okay.
I haven't got to all of them either, so
All
I'm
right.
sure there are a few that I haven't got to.
John.
Thank you. John Powers, Boston Globe again, for Coach. We're going to have a NCAA State of the Game press conference after this. I'm sure the regional sites issue will come up. How do you feel about going back to the way it used to be and maybe having the advantage of playing at Agganis?
You know, I've thought about it a little. I'm not being coy here, John. I just haven't thought about it a lot. It's I know it's a topic that will be discussed in Naples. You know, I like the regional feel. You know, I think it creates a little special atmosphere. But I think there's going to be a lot of factors that go into that decision. And I'm not avoiding the question. I really haven't thought enough about it. You know, we've been so entrenched in the season, and you know, after the season ended last year, the national tournament wasn't high on my priority list. So, you know, it's something that I know it's been talked about for a while with the attendance issues, and it's difficult to find venues in the Midwest. I know they're talking maybe about having permanent sites and maybe not actually having to have one in the Midwest, maybe 2 out west and 2 out east. I'd probably like to see us gradually go to the on-campus scenario, maybe try the permanent sites before we made that big leap of going back to the campus sites. But like I said, I mean, that'll be discussed at length with people with a lot more information than I have.
Agganis Arena, by the way, remember, John, last time we were here for the Frozen Four in 2004, Ed Carpenter was giving tours. It wasn't not yet built. Opened in January. Yeah. How about that? What, Nance?
Nancy Marapiece, Boston Globe. Dave, I know you probably aged a great deal in the last 7 minutes of that game last night, but is there any way to kind of put your finger on why these guys are just not rattled when, you know, I mean, they're like just coming at you, and that's happened so many times this year, and it just doesn't seem to faze them in any way?
You know, I think we talked about our leadership, and these guys alluded to it earlier. Our leadership runs deep through all 4 classes. You know, I know we only have 4 seniors, actually. 2 of them play regularly. But I think our confidence in our ability to be composed under difficult situations, a lot of that has to do with each player has a belief in himself, but I think each player also has a belief in his teammate. And, you know, when you're sitting on the bench or in the locker room and you're looking around and you think, oh, he's pretty good. Oh, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. I think that's where that calmness maybe comes in. And I think it gives you a sense of, I don't want to say relief, but it gives you a sense of confidence that you're going to have to weather storms, you know, at this time of year. I mean, you're playing really good hockey teams, and how do you handle the ebb and flows of a hockey game? You know, last night, for example, we come out and play really well early, and then all of a sudden, you know, the second period starts and they get that goal early, and now we're on our heels because they're smelling blood. And, you know, we get the all-important third goal, and then I thought we started playing better. And then, you know, the third period, not a lot was happening, and, you know, all of a sudden we give up a fluky goal, and now we're back on our heels, and you know, we responded the way you need to. And championships teams do that. You know, you have to weather storms. You're not going to blow people out at this time of the year. And I think our leadership and our confidence in each other has allowed us to withstand some of the ebbs and flows of a hockey game.
Okay, Dave.
This is for David. You've talked about the composure and
You got to introduce yourself.
Oh, Dave Hendrickson, U.S. College Hockey Online. You were just talking about composure and the leadership. Yet, not to be the fly in the ointment, but it looked like it looked like a 13-year-old kind of stunt what he did last night. Your thoughts on that being something that could have put that team on the power play and led to a tying goal?
Yeah, that was stupid. And, you know, a lot of things happened in the last 7 minutes that haven't happened all year, and I know I mentioned it last night. You know, Matt O'Connor's never given up a goal like that during the year. then we got a quote-unquote too many men on the ice penalty, but it actually wasn't a too many men on the ice penalty. We actually played the puck without being on the ice, which is a penalty. So a penalty should have been called, but it shouldn't have been a too many men on the ice penalty. And then Evan Rodriguez takes a stupid penalty, a penalty he's never taken in my 2 years here. So, you know, that added all up to a chaotic situation. And like I said, hopefully we can learn from it and avoid those chaotic situations.
Anything further for the players? You good? Okay, guys, I know you can stay if you want, but if you want to go, you can too. Keep going. Questions for Coach? Anybody else? Okay, Steve.
Steve Buckley, Boston Herald. So just to put a bow on this, I take it you did see the replay.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
And your thoughts on that?
I thought it was a stupid play by a very intelligent player. And I think he got the penalty he deserved. You know, I know last night people asking about suspension, and I don't think that warranted anything like that. Yeah.
David?
I'm sorry, I just blanked.
Okay.
Your name's David.
Jocko. Yeah. Here,
Jocko Connolly, Boston Herald. David, we all know Jack's legacy and history and imprint on the college hockey game, and you've been a longtime figure within the Terriers program yourself. But now that you're on the cusp of maybe setting your own milestone or standard, how do you and, say, Jack Eichel look at tomorrow night's game with the potential to really stamp your names in the Terrier record book, forever?
You know, it's funny, Jocko. We've been in these situations the last 3 weekends, semifinal, final, and I have found that we have been a little uptight or nervous going into the semifinal game, and then once you get into that small tournament setting, you're playing, and I haven't really thought much about it because you just get, you're so focused on beating North Dakota, and we beat North Dakota late last night. Now we're getting ready to beat Providence. Maybe during some quiet time tonight and tomorrow, that'll kind of wander through my mind, and I'm sure it may, you wouldn't be human if you didn't think about those things. But, our group has been very mature in their approach to big games and living in the moment. And it's one of the reasons why we have the record we have. It's one of the reasons why we never lost 2 games in a row all year. I think that's the type of stuff that, I think you can think about that stuff when you actually accomplish it. And we haven't accomplished it yet.
Oh, in the back. Oh, okay. And then we'll take you, Joe. Dave?
I remember now. Okay. Dave Hendrickson, U.S. College Hockey Online. Matt O'Connor has been a real consistent part of your team's success all year. He did give up a really bad goal in the regional game. You talked about how he had to kind of man up and get his head back into it. Another really bad goal in this game. What kind of things have you talked to him, and can you talk about your level of confidence in his play?
Dave, I find the less I talk to goalies, the better off they are. And I mean that sincerely. I'm not being funny. I just, it's, every player is going to make a bad play. Obviously a goalie's mistakes are a lot more magnified than anybody else's. But the key to any athlete's success is how do you respond to a bad play. And, Matt gives up that tough goal. They get the power play goal, great goal by them to the fault of, Matt had nothing to do with it. And then after they make it 4-3, he makes a huge save to keep it at 4-3. So that, to me, that's timely saves and how do you respond and, what's your mental toughness. And he's shown it all year. I mean, every goalie is going to have a bad goal in their career. It's how you respond to it. And to me, it's one of the reasons why we continue to play. It's why he's a great goalie. It's why he's going to have a chance to play at the next level. I'm just proud of him the way he battled back from it.
In the back, Jeff.
Jeff Cox, SB Nation. Coach, Gillies is one of the goalies that, doesn't give up too many rebounds. Obviously, you have some great shooters, but what are a couple things you need to do tomorrow to, maybe get Gillies, give up some rebounds, and get some second opportunities?
I think when you get rid of a puck quickly, a goalie has less of an opportunity to direct his rebounds, so we've got to be ready to shoot pucks. Two, we've got to get traffic in front of them. I mean, I'm no different than any other coach talking in this day and age in hockey. The goalies are so big and the nets are so small. You got to get in front. You got to take away their vision. You got to make it difficult for them. When you get to the net front, you got to have a physical aspect to your game. You can't be pushed around there. You've got to be there with a purpose. You know, the goal last night, if you watched the Summerby goal last night, I know people may thought it was a bad goal, but after watching it on tape, you know, Oxenden and Greer do an unbelievable job. That puck gets dumped in. It goes around to McIntyre's right. Both Greer and Oxenden are going towards the puck. They both realized Summerby was going to get it. They both stop and go right to the net front. And he never saw it. And, you know, that stuff, we've done a very good job in that area. And that's, you know, I know we've got a lot of attention because of our flash and our dash at times because we can look like a skilled team, but, you know, that was a gritty goal. That was a hard-earned goal. Those are goals you have to score at this time of the year. We've scored enough of them to continue to play, and we're going to have to do it again tomorrow night if we're going to win the national championship.
Anything further? All right, very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Yes. You sleep, Quinny? No. 3 hours. Yeah. 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 1 o'clock. Oh, sorry about that. 1 o'clock with Providence, and then 1:30 state of the game. Thank you, John. They're scheduled to. I guess I didn't ask. They're